to raise a further point on Kashmir, or should we open it up to the audience?
I think I would like to ask the question.
You like asking me difficult questions.
So you've been particularly critical of the BJP government's policy, or what you've called the non-existent policy on Kashmir. So how would you address Kashmir in the short term and in the long term?
I think one complaint I have of the BJP foreign policy in general is that it's very tactical and it's episodic. It's not strategic. That's a broad point. 2004, we were handed a Jammu and Kashmir which was on fire when we came into power. Hundreds of people dying, terrorism, violence, and Manmohan Singh ji sat down with a couple of us and we made a plan, and we worked on it for 9 years. Okay? And the plan was, how do you build bridges between people? That was the plan. To me, this is one of the biggest achievements of our government. When we left government, the way we used to measure it, very simple. I used to go, others used to go, we used to measure the number of planes landing in Jammu and Kashmir, tourist planes, right? And we knew that if we were at 5, that was really bad. If we were 1, it was terrible. If we were at 5, that was bad. We got to 50, right? That means massive amount of tourism coming in by the end of our government. What did we do? We held local body elections, Panchayati Raj elections, where we got thousands of new elected representatives. We connected thousands and thousands of women from Jammu and Kashmir to banks through a self-help group program. We took businesses to Jammu and Kashmir. I took them myself. We took youngsters from Jammu and Kashmir and took them to Bombay, took them to Karnataka, took them to Bangalore and showed them what is going on. And I was surprised at how powerful that thing was. 2012, we had basically destroyed the terrorist movement in Kashmir, finished. Right? But let me tell you something. This was not fancy speeches. This was not big talk. This was all, and this was not me alone. This was not the Prime Minister alone. This was hundreds and hundreds of people working quietly, behind the scenes. And in 2014, I went to Jammu and Kashmir, and I felt like crying. Because I saw what a bad political decision can do to years and years and years of work. The BJP made an alliance between them and the PDP, and it just blew the place up. And what it has done is it has opened the door for forces that are against India. And it has created a serious strategic problem for my country. Now, this stuff doesn't run in the papers. This stuff is not what, this doesn't work in bites. But this is the truth. So for me, I've seen the power. I've sat in a room. I'll tell you a story. I've sat in a room with an MLA from Punjab. MLA is a member of assembly, who sat down in the room and he's held his head like this. And I've said, what are you doing? He said, I can't believe what is happening. I said, what? He said, 20 years ago, I was basically a terrorist. And now, I'm sitting here making laws. You engage with people. You bring people in. You trust people. You believe in people. It works. I've seen it. with the harshest of people. I've seen it work. So it's very easy to pretend that you'll have simple solutions. You won't have simple solutions, right? But you start to build trust. You start to bring people together. I had a fantastic conversation. You know, I almost cried when I went to Jammu Kashmir. And then 6 months later, I was like, okay, there is hope. So when I went in 2013, I had the people from Jammu come. And they said, you guys have done nothing. Then I had the people from Kashmir come, and they said, you guys have done nothing. So I was like, okay, we've done nothing. And then election happened, lost the election. And then I was like, okay, now the thing is on fire. A year after the election I went, people from Jammu came. And they said, nothing's happening. So I said, what do you mean? They said, nothing's happening. I said, why? They said, because they don't talk to us anymore. Then 5 minutes later, people from Kashmir came. They said, nothing's happening. I said, why? They don't talk to us anymore. I said, so then? Then they said, there's no way but to talk. There's no way but for us to talk, because nothing happens if you don't. So you can divide people, you know, and play this politics. But how is dividing communities going to get you jobs? You explain that to me. If you can give me an explanation, I'll buy it. But if I divide this room, how are we going to build cooperation? How are we going to build a country? So to me, Kashmir, I mean, I like the question because it's at the heart of the problem. You go in, you carry people, you show them affection, you show them love, they will respond every single time. You show them anger, you're nasty, they will respond every single time. So that to me is, that is also the spirit of my country.
Okay.